It's season 1, episode 1 of In the Dark for CW's new show. We have an introduction to Murphy. Where's her friend Tyson? And Murphy may have walked herself into a random situation. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, everybody? We're here for the pilot of this show, In the Dark. I'm here greeted by my lovely host.
Hi, Bethany Jean.
Bethany Jean, and I'm Chef Beans. I'm super excited. Bethany, what do you think about this episode and the pilot of In the Dark?
I love this show so far. It's so good. It's totally up my alley. I love the satire. I love the dark comedy.
You know, I looked online and what they titled this show as a dramedy, which I've never read that before, a drama and a comedy.
Yeah.
And I think we're greeted with that as soon as the show started, where
For sure.
we're introduced to Murphy. As we can see, she's having that one night stand. Like, what do you think about Murphy so far?
Well, I just think she's such a peculiar character. It's interesting because she's smoking hot.
Right.
You know, she doesn't even know how attractive she is, so that in itself is just kind of cool, you know? And then she obviously has all of these addiction issues, and she's kind of narcissistic, and you know what I mean? Not narcissistic, maybe that's not actually the best word. She doesn't like talk herself up. She's just completely detached.
I think she's completely detached and completely in the dark. Like, I think this is the perfect title, especially for a combination of people and other characters who we'll get introduced to. So we see Murphy at the beginning of the episode. She has the one night stand or whatever. And then she goes straight to the pharmacy as far as getting her Plan B pill or whatever.
Well, I thought it was so funny because she's buying, I thought it was a pregnancy test.
Right.
And so I'm just like, who's reading this for her?
Well,
like, she's going to take a pregnancy test. She's not going to be able to read it. So who's her pregnancy test reader?
That's true. But as you can see with the cashier clearly knows Murphy to be a consistent customer. So she said, let me guess, you're getting this again?
Yes.
So what I've learned about, blind people, because Murphy is blind, if you haven't watched the show, if you're fans, of course, you realize that. But they remember certain patterns, and what their sticks is just kind of like repetition with them. So she went straight to the aisle, and even her common jump in front of a bunch of people, these were just a regular routine for her.
And that's what I was talking about when I was saying narcissistic. I mean, that's kind of a broad term anymore. I don't mean like she talks herself up. I just mean she's literally just cares about what her agenda is for that second. Like, zero consideration for others, which her mom touches on later.
Right, so let's get more into Murphy. So she has these one night stands, and even her interaction with the people that she loved, primarily her parents. What do you feel about Murphy and her interaction with other people?
Well, I think she's just so intentionally detached. I think she feels like she's at a disadvantage. So rather than her embracing others with warmth, she could go either way. She could have like clung more to her parents and her friends and her dog that loves her.
Her dog, Pretzel.
Pretzel. But instead, she's just bitter and detached, and I don't know.
No, absolutely. Well, there's one person who she's not really detached from, and that's her friend, Tyson. We meet Tyson in the alleyway, and we see that he's clearly involved in things that he shouldn't be involved in. Yeah. But he has a soft spot in Murphy's heart, which...
Yeah. And we found out why. So she bonded with him because she was being mugged and beat up, and he saved her life.
Yeah,
he was just a kid.
Right, a kid, 15 years old, but clearly flirtatious. He's telling I thought that was kind of funny because...
Me too. I didn't see it coming.
No, me neither. But like you said, she's hot.
Yeah.
She's hot and she's blinded. But I think this is even a metaphor. Sometimes a person doesn't see their own beauty. But, she's clearly like a very attractive person. But Tyson's not afraid to shoot his shot.
No, I thought it was really funny too. And it's funny because I don't think he knew, I don't know if he knew that she knew how young he was, if that makes sense.
No, clearly.
Because she can't see his face. Like, she doesn't know.
She can't see his face, but she's clearly a lot sharper than a lot of people think. Yes. And I think her tactic as far as like he wanted her to feel his face. He's kind of like, look, feel me. You can't be so detached from the world. Feel my face. And yeah, I just thought Tyson's character, though he was only here like briefly, I could tell he had a strong like stance within her heart.
Well, and I thought it was really interesting too. She doesn't touch faces because that's a personal thing, and we know that she's about staying in her box. She's not trying to have personal bonds. She doesn't want to care about other people. She's just trying to selfishly get through life. But I thought it was really interesting that Tyson made her touch his face, and so she actually kind of embraced and knew what he looks like. And then when she stumbled across what we believe is his body, she knew what his face looked like. So she kind of had a leg up on identifying him.
No, absolutely.
She wouldn't have if it weren't for that.
Absolutely. That's why she wasn't super convinced when the cops and everyone were asking her, so how do you know it's him? She knew exactly from that muscle memory who he was. But let's get into her parents a little bit. We see that they have their own business and everything like that. What do you feel about Murphy's relationship with her parents and that whole establishment?
Well, she and her mom obviously have a contentious relationship, which makes me very sad. But her mom's just like done with her.
Done with her for a combination of reasons.
Right? She sees her living below her potential, walking all over people, using people, just living blatantly and inconsiderately. And it's interesting that her dad just has unconditional love for her. He's just trying to meet her where she's at. And mom's kind of like bad cop.
But I can tell that this isn't the first rodeo for mom. You can tell from the interaction that mom is used to her being belligerent on certain situations, but not creating a space for her to have excuses. Her mom is just kind of like, you know, disability or not, I'm still going to treat you based off of the way that you treat others, and you treat others very selfishly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But speaking about how she is with this establishment, how I feel like no one really takes her serious. And even to the point where she went to go look for Tyson, she's trying to explain it to the cops. You can tell that her character really continues to spew out. She don't want to be labeled as a person with a disability. And I think that was even funny when she said, like, I'm not Daredevil. Like every time someone tries to use her blindness as a crutch, she always has a response for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very, very witty character. I was kind of wondering if she resents that her parents' business is the guide dog business, because she definitely seems like, well, she even told the little girl's dad, just treat her like a normal kid.
Right.
So it's almost like, I think she in a way almost resents her parents, that her disability is just something they're making a bigger deal about. And now it's like the family business and she works there. And that also makes me wonder if they open that business to give her a future, because she's disabled. So not a lot of jobs out there that are hiring blind girls, right?
You know, I never even thought about it that way, because we find out that she gets this eye sickness or disability after the age of 14. Yeah. So she does, it's not like she was born with this. So maybe that's why she's taking it so much to heart, and she doesn't want to use it as a crutch. Speaking about crutches and different things that help people out, I think you have something to let our viewers know what can help us out as well, you know?
Yes. Before we get on to our next topic, we just want to thank you all for joining us in AfterBuzz and making us the ESPN of TV talk. And as we continue to grow, we really need your help. So if you could make sure to subscribe on YouTube, give us a rating on iTunes, leave us comments, because being part of the AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to me. And it really has. We have such a special family here, and I just love watching everyone grow and develop in their hosting skills, and we're just having the best time. And it's all because of viewers supporting us. You know, if there were no viewers thumbs upping us, what would we have?
Yes. So thank you. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate the family environment that is created here at AfterBuzz. And just speaking about family, we see that, you know, Murphy's still very much in the dark with her family interaction, not always going her way. But also, let's speak a little more on Tyson. So she finds Tyson in the alleyway. You know, she feels his face, so she knows it's him. Cops aren't really taking her serious, but she's not ready to give up just yet, because this is back to her ego, knowing that she knows what she knows.
And I mean, I guess we have to consider the fact that she could be wrong.
Right.
I mean, she's blind.
Right, she's blind.
So it's possible it was a different body and she couldn't see the face. So we're going really off scent. And she even said he smelled different.
Blind and drunk. So this even speaks to her character of
Yes.
what a lot of people know her as. I think that's, not saying it's like the boy who cried wolf or the girl who cried wolf, but you can tell everyone's just kind of like, it's not far-fetched if she found a random homeless person in the alleyway in Chicago.
Yeah, her character is being scrutinized. Her judgment.
Absolutely. But she circles back to the alleyway and she's confronted by this mysterious guy, Darnell. How do you feel about Darnell?
I mean, what's to like?
He's kind of spooky.
He obviously doesn't care about his cousin. He's in bad business. He didn't care about his cousin in the first place because he's dragging him into drug dealing.
Right.
So that doesn't really speak about highly of someone trying to like motivate your younger lineage in the right direction.
That's true.
So he's using him in that regards. And he's showing not only zero concern for his safety, but he's repeatedly telling her to butt out.
Right.
So, I mean, we are left thinking he's behind it, right?
Yeah. He's being super combative. Every time she brings up Tyson's name, he's just kind of like, stay out of my business. And once he found out that she's the reason why the cops were in that area, you see, he even gets very aggressive with her to the point where he physically grabs her. Like, I don't know, that scene was very intense to me because that lets me know that blindness or not, if you interfere with anything that I got going on, there will be some type of physical action to happen. So I think that was like a warning shot.
I mean, she should be scared of him. He's a scary character. I also noticed the kind of camera angle shot when the roommate, I can't think of her name.
The roommate's name is Jess.
When Jess comes and finds her and she's in the alley, and as they start to walk away, you see the camera shot as if though it's like in scaffolding in a building up high.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if you got the impression, but I kind of got the impression that Darnell was watching her.
Yes, I definitely wrote that down as far as like someone watching her. But as you can see, Darnell is he's very smart. Like, he was open to meeting up with her as far as like getting breakfast to let her know, I'm not trying to hide anything from you, because this was right after she sent a message and got a response, but she knows that Tyson doesn't text her because she's blind. Like, they're used to talking over the phone. So how did you feel about the breakfast scene?
How did I feel about the breakfast scene? Well, I think for starters, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. Sure. I think that's Darnell's angle, probably. Like, sure, I'll have breakfast with you. I'm sure he wanted to scare her a little bit, I would think. I also think it's just kind of interesting, a scare tactic towards a blind person, because they can't receive your facial expressions. There's a lot of intimidation in someone's facial expressions towards you, right?
True.
So she's just like hearing his voice, and he's trying to be threatening.
Trying to be threatening, trying to be controlling, ordering.
Yeah, ordering for her, And I love that she called him out on it. It was like, not having it.
Yes, very stern. And even she brought up saying, like, I hate when guys try to order for me, back to, her dating, I hate when guys like order for me. Yeah. But even in this moment, you can see that Darnell scare tactics weren't working, but he's still, it's something like mysterious about him that I can't really put my finger on. Yeah, I just feel like he's bad business. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But I think it's really interesting too that where the phone was found.
Yeah.
And I know I mentioned this to you already, but Tyson has been missing for, I don't know at this point, it hasn't really said, but I'm guessing a handful of days or something like that. And his phone's ringing.
Right.
So I don't know if that was an oversight in production. Like, just assuming like we wouldn't think about that, but my first thought is his phone would be dead.
Right. Like, how many days went by as far?
Yeah, like his phone's not just gonna stay battery up, like batteries thumbs up for like a week, waiting for someone to call it under an underpass.
Right. I would have thought his phone would have died just how her phone died. You know what I mean? Her phone died after she got caught in the house with the husband, and she couldn't, couldn't communicate with anybody. But that, I think, is even...
She's like, man, Tyson knows how to charge his phone. I need to take a lesson.
Right. Like that really speaks to her character, because though she was in this slump at the bar and this couple just donated $10,000, she still was open to meeting up with this married man at a bar, which we know how this whole situation blew up in her face. How do you feel about the bar scene to her getting caught in the house?
I mean, we know she's selfish, but just because you're selfish doesn't mean you have to disregard marital boundaries. So that was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, as a married woman, like, would this have exploded? How?
It would have been a lot uglier.
Yeah, a lot uglier. Like
that woman was like, "You lied to me." For starters, yes, he did lie to you. For starters, that's one thing he did.
And that was messy, but
it is funny, the glass table situation.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
This is a glass table.
Back to the dramedy, it's kind of like, oh, this is a glass table. You can actually see me.
I mean, it really is a dark comedy.
Yeah.
It's funny. Her character's hilarious, and she plays it really well. I think we're going to see a lot more from this actress.
No, absolutely. I think it's...
Terry Matfield.
Karma doesn't miss a beat, because her making this selfish decision returns to bite her in the butt, because the couple who donated this $10,000, clearly the wife is like, no, cancel that check ASAP. Yeah. Cancel that check ASAP.
I mean, can you blame her?
No.
Like, why am I giving $10,000 to a family that doesn't respect my family?
You're right. It just seems like Murphy, or at least how I'm portraying Murphy, like, she can never be right, or at least in her head. I think that's why she was just beating up herself so much.
She knew, though. And I thought it was really cool of her that she wrote her mom a check for the $10,000 and post-dated it.
Yeah.
And was like, I'm going to work for you for this long.
And they were looking to fill in that spot. Back to the comedy when he said, hey, I see nepotism sarcastically. Nepotism doesn't exist in this building.
I like Felix's character.
Oh.
I like their banter. It's very brother-sister.
Nah,
but I don't believe he's family, right?
No, I don't
think so. I think he's just a coworker.
Yeah, but
that works his butt off for the family and is not recognized.
Yeah, she clearly climbed this ladder that was created for her a lot faster than he felt as though was fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she doesn't want pity, and shortly after that scene, like, the same cop who basically deflected everything earlier, like we didn't find a dead body, returns with his daughter, who's also blind. In their family establishment, but as you can see,
cool.
Yeah,
that situation was the warmest, most human part of her character we've seen so far.
No, absolutely, because she empathizes with other people with this disability, and you even saw how she told her father, like, stop pitying her, like she just wants to be.
And it wasn't
human.
Out of guilt. It wasn't like, I'm gonna write a check because I did something bad or whatever, XYZ. But she just wanted to connect with this girl and comfort her. Right. And she wanted to connect with the dad and say, don't do this, do this, Right.
Even when they called each other, like, they said they have something in common, but besides just being blind, also a loner. I feel like Murphy feels lonely this whole episode. Though she's out here and have these different human interactions, the show being called In the Dark, I feel like she finds herself in the dark that doesn't only have to deal with her physical disability. Emotionally, she feels like she's in the dark.
She's in a dark place.
Being adopted, she feels in the dark. Not having this connection with her parents the way that she wants to makes her feel in the dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that the dad said she wasn't adopted till she was 2 because she was waiting for them.
Right.
The dad seems really sweet.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure the mom is sweet. She's just had it.
Yeah, she's over it.
Like, we're seeing the mom's worst side of herself because she's been pushed to those limits. Did we catch how old she is, Murphy?
No, but I know she said something about like 20 years. Like, something about the disability with like 20 years. I'm not exactly sure, but No, the father said, you said you loved me 3 times in the past 20 years.
Right.
So if she got adopted when she was 2, maybe she's around 22.
Okay.
Or something along those lines.
I feel like her age is really hard to guess.
Yeah, like she
Like
has
she
her
could
own.
be early 20s and like not. Please receive this the right way. I'm not saying she looks old, but like if you told me she was 37, I'd be like, okay.
Right.
But maybe part of that's her height.
Yeah,
She has like a good stature.
She's very tall. She's very Snoopy, and with her not being her very stubborn, her not being able to let go of the situation, she needs to find out where this phone is because clearly she got a response and she needs to find out where it is. So now she's in the phone
She's
tracker.
tenacious.
Yes,
It's great. It's given her a will to live.
yeah, exactly.
What I
That's
mean?
what it is.
I think part of her selfishness and why she's not scared of someone like Darnell is she lives like she wants to die.
Right.
She's not living like she wants to live. But now she wants to avenge this death in some form, find him or find what happened to him.
And this situation is giving her
she got up early.
It's giving her purpose. It's giving her something to do because she wants to basically show, don't label this as something that's going to hold me back because though I have this physical disability, I still can make things happen. I think she's communicating a lot with this situation, and being in the store, you can see that she tried her normal tactics. Hey, do this for me or I'll buy you a drink. And what does he say?
He's not even old enough to drink. I also like that she didn't give him the $20.
Right.
She's like, I'll give you $20. And then she's like, okay, later.
Right. I'll buy you a drink. No, I don't drink. Or what about $20? Okay, cool. They find the phone. He leaves. Where's my $20? Like she doesn't do it. She find the phone, like you said, and it's still ringing. So what goes through your mind once the phone is actually discovered under this bridge?
Well, a few things. Her roommate was substantially more scared than she is, but we just talked about the will to live thing, so you have to consider that. But also you have to consider she doesn't care about scary darkness because she lives in the dark.
Right.
So the roommate's like, dude, we're under an underpass at nighttime. This is sketchy and scary. We should be very frightful. And she's just like, whatever. Like,
I didn't even pick up on
in
that.
The dark.
Yeah, her whole existence is always in the dark, and that's probably why she has no problem
like
going in the
nighttime's not scary to her. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. I mean, I can tell you, I don't hang in dark alleyways.
Me neither.
You know.
Me neither. But
day or night, but especially not at night.
Wow, I didn't even connect
blind,
on that.
I mean, the whole thing for someone that has normal vision is I'm not gonna walk in dark places because I can't see what's coming at me. But like, she can't see what's coming at her ever.
She can't, but she has a very strong, distinct character. And Murphy's actual name is Perry Matfield, right? Perry Matfield, which we have some news and gossip about her. So let's talk about some news and gossip with
she's kind of interesting.
Perry Matfield.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Something I found very fun about Perry Matfield is she started dancing when she was 5 years old.
Okay.
Makes perfect sense. Her body is like the definition of balletic, right?
Right.
So she was a ballerina, and her ventures into acting included her first job was working for Mattel at the Grove at the American Doll store. She was in the American Doll Theater. She did 164 shows with pride, she says, and she played the dolls Kristen Larson and Kit Kittredge.
Nice.
Yeah, which I thought was really cute and fun, especially with this super cynical personality she has now. She was like a cutesy little ballerina American Doll.
Right, and she's doing amazing with this role too. Like with her different history with being in these different competitions and things. She's really doing an amazing job with this character.
Pretty versatile. I think we're gonna see a lot more from her in her career.
I agree.
I think this show's really gonna put her on the map.
Speaking of being versatile, we spoke about earlier how she said that she's not Daredevil, which I thought was very funny. Being in a big city with her stick. The first thing that I thought about in trying to discover something she like a woman Daredevil, but I don't know. As far as special segments go, though, we do have a special segment that aligns with that quote, which is, if you could have any superhero power in the world, what would it be and why?
I want so many superheroes. I actually think about this question a lot.
Okay.
I also think about what sense would I lose if I had to lose a sense.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever think about that one. I would fly.
Fly why?
I'd be a flyer.
Okay, why would you want to fly?
I just think being able to defy gravity and hop over traffic and move above someone's head in a physical altercation, all of that is very cool to me. Height on the ceiling, just like being able to be up and be above it. And I dream a lot about flying. I've always dreamt about flying a lot.
Do you have a specific spot you would definitely fly to?
Well, I don't know how tired flying makes you. I mean, you're not flapping your wings like a bird. You're just kind of like Superman in it, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, if that's the case, just come down for food and water, right? Go to Paris, go across the world, I guess.
Flying would be amazing. Why are they not thinking of that?
Yeah, dude, flying. I would totally be into flying. Being invisible would be a really cool strength as well.
There are so many different superhero powers that I would want. But if I can only choose one, I guess it's similar to flying, but teleportation. Just because, I like to teleport because...
Well, that kind of goes hand in hand, I guess. But yeah.
But I think flying gives you the experience of seeing everything from a wide, bird's eye point of view. But teleporting, sometimes as far as like flying on an airplane or driving, traffic can annoy me. Yeah. But if I can just like blink my eyes or just say, hey, I want to be in Japan tomorrow, that's why I would want teleportation.
That's better than flying. You win. It's better. Because even if you were in a scary situation, like I'm just saying I could rise above it. You're saying I could just get out of it.
True.
You could just blink and be like, a guy's like coming to hit you and you're just like gone.
Get out of it with a blink of an eye. Just how Murphy's trying to get out of a lot of these judgments that are attached to her, but also get into this situation. But she has someone trailing her. And I think Darnell is not going to let up on this situation. Do you have any predictions as far as like for the next episode?
I'm just really trying to figure out.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What are your predictions for? Because this pilot episode was very amazing. What are your predictions for episode 2?
Who knows? But I predict we're going to see a softer side of her, and now that she doesn't have Tyson, her one solid friend, I think she's going to find an unlikely friendship in the blind girl's dad, the police officer. I think she's going to kind of like soften up and have a friendship. And then I think she also might, maybe not immediately, but down the road, I think she's going to have some sort of friendly relationship with Felix.
That, you know what? Felix has a stronger role in this show than I picked up on the first episode. Now that I process it,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just to say, it kind of reminds me of in like Clueless. Remember, she had this stepbrother Josh.
Oh yeah.
They were always like so bickery, and then near the end, they were like close and even romantic, which is strange.
A little strange, yeah.
Which is just strange. But I could see that being like that with Felix. Like I could see them becoming close, and even maybe eventually having some sort of like romantic tension or something, because he knows her really well. He's already in the family. He's around her every day, and he's worthy of friendship. He's a nice guy.
That's very true. I predict that her mother is going to not take her foot off the gas a little bit more, but we're going to see a softer side of her mother, because even in the car, her mother was very aggressive, but at the end, she still hugged her. She's happy that she can still be around her daughter in this sense, like her daughter Murphy made up for the 10,000 that was lost, so I think we're going to see a softer side of the mother. Yes. And Darnell is going to apply more pressure, because like we saw at the end of the episode, it felt like they were being watched in the alleyway.
Yes.
And he stormed off after he found out that she found the phone. He stormed off after their second interaction. So I think Darnell is going to apply some more pressure if Murphy keeps knocking on that door.
Yes, for sure.
Well,
I just keep thinking, why would his baby cousin be dead? And why would Darnell be okay with it? You know what I'm saying? Like he worked for him.
He doesn't have a soft spot unless he had something to do with...
But even still, like a drug deal went bad, so he killed his cousin? Like, I just don't understand the motive.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll have more to reveal. We just want to say thank you. We just want to say thank you for tuning in to this episode of In the Dark, episode 1, season 1. My name is Chef Beans. You can find me at Chef_Beans with the Z.
And I'm Bethany Jean. You can find me at Bethany Jean Official. You can also check out my YouTube, which is Bethany Jean. Yeah.
Yes, so?
And tune in. We're going to do this as like a 13 or 14 episode season, so we're going to be around.
Yes, we have a lot to unravel. So, thanks for tuning in, peeps.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.